You ever wanted to build your own luxury custom home? We've all wanted to. Well, in this interview today, I'm going to take you behind the scenes with one of the top luxury home builders in Northern California as we talk about loans, as we talk about construction, all the costs involved in building your own private, amazing luxury home. Let's go to the interview. Hey, Paul, how are you doing today?
Hi, Mark. I'm doing good. How are you?
Good, good, good. Well, tell us a little bit about your company. How long have you been in business, where you build, and all that kind of fun stuff.
Sure. So I've got a company here in I call it the greater Sacramento area. We're actually located in Placer County, Roseville. I'm sort of a third generation contractor. So I worked for my grandfather's company, worked for my father's company, and then I started my own company in 1997.
Okay, and where have you kind of built in the Sacramento area? Because I've seen your stuff everywhere.
Sure. So we've got projects in Sacramento, Roseville, El Dorado Hills as far as Serrano, Cameron Park. We're up here in Lincoln, Casa Verdera, and then numerous projects in the Granite Bay and Loomis area.
Okay, and you kind of like, one of your main kind of fortes is basically the luxury custom home build, from like picking the land all the way to picking all the details and finishes and everything too, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So what does this process look like as far as from like start to finish, as far as like thinking to yourself, I saw this video, I want to buy a house, I want to do that, I want to pick out my piece of land, like what does that look like? Yeah,
well, we try and really simplify it for the client, right? We just tell them the phases. The first phase is, how big of a house do you want, right? We got to kind of figure that part out. And that's a very simple discovery meeting we have in our office. Second, if they don't have a lot, we're going to look for a lot that meets their needs. We want that size home to fit on the lot that they want. We need to know if they want a view, such as this home has, if they want to be close to a community, a certain community. We got to discover all that. And then we literally have folks that will help find them the perfect lot.
You guys are able to go out there and say, it's a good piece of land or it's going to cost this much to grade additionally, correct?
Yes, very important. We do that right up front. We want to go walk the lot, let them know what to expect. None of us will know ultimately until we're ready to build, because a civil engineer will create a grading plan, we'll put that plan out to bid, then we'll know our exact cost. But prior to that, most of the members on my team can go walk a lot and come very close to what the actual grading cost will be.
Okay, now one of the things too I encounter too when people are looking for custom homes, it's very important where to build a custom home. Like for example, like you can't build it just anywhere. You have to be very selective because you want to walk into appreciation, you want to make sure you're making a wise investment. How do you help with that?
Yeah, absolutely, very important. We always like to make sure when the homeowner moves into the house, they have built-in equity. And generally that's hundreds of thousands of dollars. When you're building your own home from ground up versus buying an existing home already complete, so when you buy that home, you're buying at high retail value.
Yeah.
We're literally building you a home at wholesale value.
And one of the things I love about like working with you as far as and talking to you about this stuff is you have so many connections of people who have land that's basically not on the market. So like you have this kind of like this like pocket of like various people who say, hey, if someone's looking to buy and someone's looking to do this. So not only, if someone's searching the MLS for land, you also have all these different possibilities that you can say, hey, let me call John. Hey, John, I think I might have someone for you. So you have this kind of like secret sauce a little bit of finding people places like in Loomis, Granite Bay, Rockland, or wherever else that most people don't have access to, correct?
Yeah, and actually, a lot of times it's those people that reach out to us. We've been in the community so long, we have our signs out and about. People will see our sign and call us and say, hey, I have a lot over here I was going to build a few years ago. Would you guys be interested in buying it? So that immediately goes to our secret list, right? Said, we absolutely might be interested. And then as homeowners come in or clients come in, we'll share that list with them. Say, here's some lots that are not even on the market. And people appreciate that. They don't really want to go deal with real estate agents and go through that whole process when they can just buy a lot directly from an owner.
So a lot of people get a little intimidated by this process because they don't have like one clear point of contact. So how does that work with you guys?
So when we start working with a client, we get engaged. They're going to work with myself and one of our project managers, and we're going to get them through the design process. Once the construction actually starts, we have a dedicated superintendent that'll be at that job site every single day. So the homeowner throughout the process will be talking to either the project manager or the superintendent, depending on what their question is. But through it all, we have our own interior designer in-house, and she's making sure that all the selections that the client wants gets put into the home.
Okay. And one of the things I loved about your situation and your office is that you're kind of like all underneath one shop, you know, like it's there's something that's nice that you can walk into someone's showroom, you could see like the past projects you've done on like a nice like conference room. You can walk through the interior design shop where you have like all these samples of like hardware, tile, all that stuff too, where people can kind of touch and feel and everything too. And then also you mentioned one time in a meeting, which I found amazing, you're like, if you want to as well, all you have to do is have an iPad and we'll send you the stuff where you can kind of select what you want to pick if that's where you want to go, right?
Yeah, our interior designer does a great job of that. She'll sit down, actually she just gets a few inspiration photos from the client. They'll say, this is what I like, or I like this, I like that. It's her job to create that look in our design center with the flooring, the cabinet, the countertop, all those selections. She'll lay it out on the design table for the homeowner. And usually they come and go, you nailed it. That is perfect. That's exactly what we had in mind. But if not, we have walls and rows of all different color countertops, floorings, tiles, and they just mix and match until they match it up.
Okay, I mean, guys, and also I've been to the showroom of Paul's. It is amazing. It is something that everyone needs to see. If you're looking for custom homes too, or if you're looking for something like this and it's just confusing, one meeting with Paul and all of a sudden there's clarity and you go like, oh, I understand how this whole thing works. And then you start talking about all the stuff that's really intricate to the process, like construction loans and loans.
Yeah.
How is that for you guys?
Simple, right? It's very easy. In my mind, it's very easy. And so, yeah, that's part of it. In that first 1 or 2 meetings, we just go through all the processes and then the client will understand, right? But again, it's from helping them find the lot to making sure they get the size and type style of home they want. And when it comes to construction loan, I simply do an email introduction with 2 of the biggest banks in the region that have construction loan programs. I just do a simple introduction, then the client works with them, they get qualified usually within 2 or 3 weeks. By then we're working on a budget, right? Because the first thing the bank wants is a budget. How much is this house going to cost? So we're working with the client, the architect, and the bank all simultaneously. But for the client themselves, it's very simple. They're just talking to us and getting qualified with the bank.
Okay, so now let's talk about one of the big words, budget. Somebody comes in there and they said, this is my budget, this is what I'm looking to do. When have you seen costs increase? When have you seen budgets not be, because people don't want to get into the situation where they're building a brand new home and all of a sudden they're like, I thought we were doing this and now we got to go a little extra. So how does that look?
Right. So I love it when they give us a budget. That makes it so easy, right? Because when we're working with the architect, the civil engineer, and everybody involved, we're going to design the home to meet that budget. And so let's say we get all that done. We have the plans that are going to meet that budget. What else could go wrong or prices could go up? It's generally just changes, right? So if a client comes to us and says, hey, I know we picked out, the white countertop, but we just got back from vacation in Italy and now we want you to import some marble from Italy to put on our countertop. But it's a very simple process where we say, okay, well, here was your allowance for this countertop. Let's go find out how much the Italian countertop is going to be. And then the client just pays the difference. But we use a program, an interactive program with the client called Blvd. So all along the process, they have their own login. They log in. They can see their plans, all the choices they've chosen for that house, updated pictures. So the superintendent's out taking photos as everything happens. But if they do want to make a change on something like a countertop, it simply goes through Blvd to the client. Client opens it up and says, hey, we used to have gray countertop. Now you want this brown countertop from Italy. Here's the cost. And then the homeowner either says yes or no. So they control the budget when it comes to making changes.
Okay. And for you, what are some of the houses that were like the projects? Other than this, I mean, this house is absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you.
What are some of the projects that you've been working on lately that are just, you say, wow, that's just...
There's so many. I mean, we really did some cool ones up in Serrano, El Dorado Hills, golf course community. Believe it or not, we have some wonderful homes, 2 homes going in Napa, California currently, 2 in literally San Francisco addresses. They're just amazing homes. I mean, every time we pick a budget, and then we have an exit price, right? We're going to sell this home for X. Well, then we go get an appraisal from the construction lender, and they appraise it like $2 million higher than we even expected it to be. These homes are just spectacular.
Guys, another thing too, I would say, talking to Paul, he builds all throughout Northern California. Like maybe the home base is here in Roseville, Sacramento, but he builds the Bay Area, Tahoe, Napa, you name it. I mean,
Southern California, we're down in Pacific Palisades now.
They're growing, expanding. But the thing with Paul's stuff is, if you look at the portfolio, whatever a person can kind of dream or imagine, I mean, you've either done it before or you can help bring their like ideas to life. Because part of the things about custom homes is like the idea, we all dream of it, you know, oh, one day I'm going to buy the piece of land and I want to build this and I want this special room, da 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 da. And you just deal with that almost like on a daily basis, correct?
Yeah, it's very normal to us, but we love when someone comes there and they've been thinking about it for 2 years, because we show them how simple it is to put that vision on paper and execute. It's an easy process.
Okay, so one of the things also that really impressed me with your company is the fact that it seems that you're able to build like more affordably than most other luxury home builders. How is that?
True, very good point. So when I first got started construction, I was working on large tract subdivisions, 100, 200, 300 homes at a time. So most of the relationships I gained in my early 20s and 30s was from extremely large subcontractors. So now that we're primarily a custom home builder with our own business, we have relationships with those subcontractors that normally wouldn't do work for a custom home builder, right? They only do it because we work side by side. I used to do a lot of work for Lennar back in the day. I had a company and we did all the heating and air and plumbing for all of Lennar's work. So I would go to big board meetings with 20 subcontractors all sitting at the table. So eventually I became nothing but a home builder, you know, a custom home builder, but I still have access to those subcontractors. So it brings our cost way down.
Okay. Now one thing too, and this is just like straight up, there's a lot of people out here thinking like, maybe I buy something at Toll Brothers or Tim Lewis. So like, what's the difference basically between like a, you know, semi-custom kind of track home builder and like a custom home builder?
Well, a custom home truly could be designed to that family's needs, right? I mean, and there's so many questions in our very first meeting, our discovery meeting, we flush out. You know, they're not just their plan for today, 5 years, 10 years, you know, down the road, how are they going to live in that space, right? We design a home for that family for today and the future. You're not going to get that at I call it a track home builder, right? They have their home, they're going to give you maybe 3 choices, package A, B, and C, and that's just changing some floor and tile colors. So we're large enough to take on customs all over California. We're small enough to cater to every single need a client might have. So you know, when you go to one of those big builders, say, well, you have to pick out package A, B, or C at a certain stage, right? Maybe it's at framing. You've got to already know what color your tile is going to be, because you're not going to be able to change it later. We literally, because we're a true custom home builder, we don't care if you change the color of that tile the day after we install it. We have no problem. We'll go remove that tile and put in the new tile you found. It's a change order that, of course, will go through our builder trend process. So the homeowner will click off that, yes, I decided to change that tile. I understand it's going to cost an extra X amount of dollars. But most of the time, our clients, they want what they want, right? It's not so much how much it costs. If that's the tile they want, that's the tile they're going to get. We're very flexible that way.
Now, let me ask you, with all the costs involved, like in building a custom home, buying the land, have you seen people walk into instant appreciation in their home?
Oh, absolutely. Almost every one of our clients, when they move in their home, there's instant equity.
Really?
I mean, generally $200,000 to $300,000 from day one.
So, okay, so because a lot of people are thinking, if I'm going custom, I'm going to have to spend so much more money, you know, not the case, right?
No, again, as I mentioned earlier, as you're building it at cost plus, you know, a fee to pay us. When you're buying an existing home already complete, you're paying that top retail value, right?
Yeah, I mean, that right there is a huge selling point.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so now let's talk a little bit about timelines, because we live in an Amazon society and we all want what we want right now. What does a timeline look like?
Well, part of that depends on the lot and the size of the home. So if it's a lot that's sloped at a 45-degree angle, we're going to have an extra couple months in the process just getting that graded, building some retaining walls. But I like to say from slab up is about a 10 to 12 month process for us. And we put a schedule, we'll build a schedule in our Builder Trend software so that the client can see the schedule. And we're really good at meeting the schedule, right? The only thing is when something changes. Let's say there's a long lead time like cabinets, and they picked out some really nice cabinets. We worked with the cabinet company, got them designed specifically. If the cabinets cause a delay, that will be reflected in the schedule. That'd be something the homeowner would see. And they would generally understand like, hey, we're gonna get the cabinets you wanted, but they had to order the material from Canada or something, right? So that'll cause time delays. Sometimes when the homeowner just makes a change, right? Like I mentioned earlier, they might change the color of the tile. It's not just the cost change order we put in there, we'll show them how much more time it's gonna take, right? So if they're okay with it taking an extra 2 weeks in that phase, we're fine with that. But the homeowner constantly is aware of the schedule, and if there's not any changes, we pretty much hit that schedule every time.
Now, one thing also I remember talking to you about when I was in one of the meetings is the fact that, like you said, sometimes you have floor plans in your archive that a person could go to.
Yeah.
And so tell me a little bit about that.
So if they choose a plan we've already built before, and let's say we're going to even slightly modify it to fit that family, generally we just saved $30,000 to $40,000 in architectural and engineering fees because we already had the plan. We've already paid for it once. We're not going to charge the client the second time. There'll just be some additional charges to get it modified for their specific lot and their specific needs. But the main reason I like using an existing plan is the time that it saves. It's 3 to 4 months you save right there.
Okay, I love that. All right, so Paul, the main question I got for you, for all those people out there who are watching this and saying to themselves, this sounds like it's doable. Like, how do you get started? Like, what does that look like? How do you get started in the process?
Well, all you got to do is reach out to us. We're very accessible. I have on our website my email address, my cell phone number. I like to be the first one to talk to a client because once I kind of have a conversation with a client, I know which one of my project managers I'm going to pull into that first discovery meeting, and I know which architect I'm going to tee up.
Okay.
So I like to be the first one to talk to the client.
All right, well, I like that personal touch.
Yeah.
Paul, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I mean, hopefully you guys enjoy this. Like I said, Paul, in my opinion, is one of the top luxury home builders in Northern California, and now probably all of California. And it was a pleasure to pick your brain a little bit and give people that information because there's such a gap between like thinking, how do I do this? And like, all the little details. And I think you actually unveiled, pulled away the curtain, and now we have a little clarity. And if you guys are looking for a custom home, like reach out to Paul. He's amazing. I've worked with him, and he's just like, I can't even tell you, going to a showroom will give you the clarity you definitely need. Okay guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you're thinking about building a custom luxury home, I would suggest reaching out to Paul. We've done something just for you. We put a link down below so you can get on a call with Paul and talk to him about the possibilities of building your own luxury home in Northern California or even Southern California. This is Mark with the Sacramento Real Estate Group. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe, and until the next one, guys, I'm done. I'm out of here. See ya.